Yo, what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? Hey, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Just accidentally muted myself there. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got, of course, the NBA conference finals in full swing. There's all kinds of drama in college football. We're less than 100 days from the first college football game. We're in double digits. It's a good time. And hey, by the way, if this is your first time here, I just want to say thank you for being here. And welcome to the channel. I know we're starting to see some more people trickle in from other videos, which is always exciting. So I appreciate that. If you're coming from a video that we posted, then welcome. I hope you enjoyed that video, and welcome to this one. So this is, again, if you're new, and if you're not, then you already know the drill. You probably skipped past this point already anyways. But yeah, we record the Fifth and Goal podcast live right here on YouTube every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're watching this on replay, then you're welcome to hang out with us live and share your thoughts and all that about what we're talking about. And again, tonight, talking NBA, talking, college football. We'll throw some SEC baseball tournament in there. We're doing a little bit of everything tonight. EPL had a crazy finish, so Johnny's going to be here, break that down. We've got some U.S. Football League. I mean, we're going to touch on quite a bit tonight, so hope you enjoy all that. And this is the part of the show where Aaron is on time and we take bets on who will be here first, Josh or Johnny. Well, Josh is always here first. I guess how late they'll be is always the question. So that's when gambling's legal in Ohio. That's what we'll gamble on. Or when sports betting, I should say, specifically sports betting. Anyways, as far as tonight, we have Eastern Conference Final Game 4. Could be 2-2, could be a 3-1 Miami lead. That'd be pretty crazy, but the road team is 2-1 in this series. It's been a weird series. I feel like there's been so many injuries and there's been some weird games in that series, man. If you have a lead in the first quarter, it's almost a bad thing in this series. I mean, it's been really weird. It's been really weird. So that's happening tonight. Game 4, Western Conference Finals on Tuesday. Josh, what's up?
Hello. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing? You're in St. Louis?
I am.
Nice.
Is this the part? Are we streaming? Oh, we are streaming.
We are streaming.
This is the unfortunate part where I tell you that I do have tickets to see a particular team play on Thursday.
Yo, nice.
So
I'm assuming a particular baseball team?
Perhaps a baseball team.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be Cards Brewers, so it should be a good
nice game. I'm going Reds Giants on Saturday, so we'll get our NL Central teams covered. It's
nice.
Tyler Stevenson bobblehead night on Saturday, so
oh, fun.
Yeah,
I gotta figure out what night it is for us. I can get you some B-roll if you want to do.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Stuff.
That's super fun.
We're going awesome. Technically, Dad. Yeah, clergy gets free tickets. So
okay, cool.
Not like clergy and friends, but at the very least, I think Mom and Dad will have free tickets. So at that point,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it should be fun. Oh, hopefully I can log into. My Cedarville account is finally starting to yell at me.
Oh, is it because you're too far graduated?
Too far graduated. I think I'm good because obviously it's. There we go. I just had to like re-verify my phone number. I think we're okay.
Yeah.
No, how's it going? How's your week been?
It's been good. It's been busy. But yeah, it's been good. Getting some videos put out there, which is good for a change.
Yeah,
so I felt really good.
The Reds one did pretty well.
Yeah, it did all right on TikTok. The YouTube video that we posted, I wasn't honestly expecting it to do anything because it's like 3 weeks later than I wanted to post it, and that's doing all right because we got a bunch of angry Chicago Bears fans. So.
Oh, is that why I have to? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I gotta.
That's what I'm following, and I agree with Johnny's opinion, but Johnny, we threw your Chicago Bears take out onto the internet, and we have heard the responses.
I love
To be
it.
fair, this is not the first time Johnny has angered the internet with a hot sports take.
I hope it's not the
angering
last
the
time
internet.
either. Yeah, I hope it's not the last time.
That's my role here.
Yeah.
I'm really ready to start like, oh, they're gonna ruin.
They're going to ruin them.
They absolutely
They're doing
are.
it now.
They're going to. They're currently.
At the
He's
end of
literally
this
one of the
year,
fastest-
it'll be
yeah.
literally like, oh, he's a bust. Well, guess why? They have one of the worst offensive lines in the league, and they have 0 weapons. Mooney is your best wide receiver. And, like, he would be on a starting wide receiver on almost any team, but he's ideally your 3, and at worst should be your 2. There's no way. And it's not even like that they have, like, some other, like, pretty good players or even young wide receivers that you'd be like, oh, they'll grow. Like, no, they're just all terrible. They're still paying Jimmy Graham.
Oh, oof.
Oh no.
They're still paying Nick Foles. They finally cut him. They're still paying him though.
Yeah. And he just ended up with Indy. Did I see that? He just ended
That
up with the
sounds
Colts. Yeah.
Which is honestly perfect backup. Like,
Yeah.
for Matt Ryan, really. Like, I think so at least.
Yeah. I mean, there's certainly worse backups out there. So. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. Do you guys? Oh, Johnny, you missed it, but Josh is going to a Cardinals game on Thursday,
Nice.
and I'm
Yeah.
going to a Reds game on Saturday. So we've got our baseball in.
You better freaking go to like a Rangers game or something. Fly down to Dallas.
I want to so bad. I would be at this point. I would have been in Dallas to hang out multiple times if money wasn't a thing, but sadly it is.
One of these days, money won't exist.
I know.
And we can all
I can't wait.
can't wait.
Oh man.
All right.
I think I'm
Load
good
up.
if you. Should probably load my recording software. That'd probably be wise. But otherwise, I think I'm good.
Yes.
As long
I
as all the
had-
show notes make sense to everyone.
They do. I had notes on obviously Mavs stuff. I think that was on my phone, so I might have to re-find those. But other
Yeah.
than that, like,
Yep.
I'm good.
Okay. Cool. I am recording. Check 1, 2, 3. Yep.
Am I?
I am recording. We are good. Ready
I'm
to go.
recording.
Beautiful. All right. Sweet. Well,
Let's
I'll
talk about stuff.
Yeah, I'll get it started. Welcome to the Fifth and Goal podcast. My name is Aaron. I am joined once again by my good friends Josh and Johnny. Guys, welcome back to the podcast. It's episode 64. We've got a lot to cover today. We've got anything from NBA to coaches in college football, just all kinds of drama there. We're touching on everything from the SEC baseball tournament to the EPL to the US Football League. So strap in, everyone. We've got a good episode. But first, Josh, what's going on, man? How's your week?
Man, I am doing super, super well. I'm currently up in St. Louis, which for you who don't know, that's actually north of Dallas.
Oh,
I'm learning my geography. And Johnny, to help me learn my geography, look what I have purchased. This is stream only.
oh, let's
I
amazing.
have a nice little globe. It's got all the things you could want on it. It's got Greenland. It's got the United States of America. It's got, what does it say here? The Russian Empire. It's got Arabia.
How old
It's
is
got
this globe,
Persia.
Josh?
No way.
Russian Empire.
It's got the Free State of Congo.
Wow.
It might be from 1891. You don't know.
By the way, speaking of Russia, Russia sucks for a variety of different reasons, but today they banned Morgan Freeman from entering their country. So,
What?
Why
Yeah.
Morgan
What did he
Freeman?
do?
I
What
don't
did he
know.
do?
I don't know. He was too good for them. That's what he did.
Only Putin can play God. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's right. Wow. Yeah, Josh, I'm glad to hear your week's going well. I heard there's a rumor that you may end up at a local baseball team at some point this week, so that's pretty exciting too.
There's a team that's really happy with its there's a city rather that's
Yeah.
really happy with its team. Seem to be doing okay.
Yeah.
A little team called the Cardinals. So
Yeah,
they're gonna
You
play
know.
some team from Milwaukee, some sort of invitational friendly.
yeah. Right.
So no, that should be a good time. So
Yeah.
I'll be at the Cardinals Brewers game on Thursday. Aaron, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be also experiencing some baseball.
Yeah, well, if you can call it that, because I'm going to see the Reds. But yes,
Oh.
the Reds and Giants on Saturday. Look, I'm probably going to
Oh.
sit through 3 hours of miserable baseball, but the weather's supposed to be amazing, and it's Tyler Stevenson bobblehead night. So our one good player that's playing right now, you can get a bobblehead of him. So pretty pumped about that. Got my cheap ticket that I could find. I'll probably move to the front because there'll be plenty of seats, I'm assuming, and that'll be a good time. So looking
bringing your
forward
bag?
to that. I'm going to bring just stats stuff because I'm a nerd and I keep stats at baseball games. But I've done that for as long as I can remember. So I actually have a really cool collection of stat cards that I've had over the years, including I watched a no-hitter in Columbus Clippers game. That's AAA teams. That's pretty sweet. I don't know if I'll ever see one of those live.
And they
in
won their
person.
game. They won their game after throwing a no-hitter, right?
Yes, that is an important distinction.
Fascinating.
So,
What a concept.
yeah, so I had a good week. Johnny, what's up, man? How was your week?
What baseball are you watching?
Yeah.
None. I will be watching no baseball. I'm sorry. No, I will be heading down to Orlando this coming week, but unfortunately, Orlando does not have a Major League Baseball team. And honestly, I feel like the Major League Baseball teams Florida does have, they don't really even want. So I will be down in Florida, chilling in some sunshine.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Drama abounds in this podcast today. Drama via head coaches, drama via the EPL final game of the season. Lots of drama.
And drama
Love the
towards
drama.
Johnny's comments towards the Chicago Bears. I'm excited to break that down.
Bears fans, I love you guys, and you guys would say the same thing about your team.
Yeah.
It's only because it came from me. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah, we'll get into all of that. But guys, I feel like we need to start with the NBA playoffs. We are in the midst of the conference finals, both, of course, the Eastern and the Western. And look, again, this is one of those things where we record on a Monday. The show doesn't come out till a Wednesday. There's a distinct possibility that one or both of these series could be completely over by the time you're hearing this. So if that's the case, then enjoy the next few minutes and see how wrong or right we were. But we know already we're going to be very wrong. So let's get it right into it. Let's start with the East, where Miami has a 2-1 lead over the Boston Celtics. Game 4 is happening for us in about 30 to 45 minutes. Guys, this series has been weird. You've had just blown leads constantly. You've had a bunch of injuries, so the lineups have not stayed the same. You had Marcus Smart out in Game 1. You had Jimmy Butler exiting halfway through Game 3. You had Kyle Lowry returning in Game 3 for the Miami Heat. And through it all, the road team has won 2 of 3 games, and it's the Heat with a 2-1 advantage. Johnny, what are you seeing from this series? It just seems odd to me. And it's 2 great teams, 2 powerhouses, and 2 teams that, when they remember, play extremely good defense. But it's been weird.
It's been weird for, like you said, Aaron, a multiple variety of reasons. And that, PJ Tucker's missed time.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero's probably not going to play tonight, Monday night. You guys are listening to this later. It's word that Tyler Hero's not going to play. It sounds like Kyle Lowry's still going to play. Sounds like Jimmy's probably going to go tonight. That'll be good. I believe, is Robert Williams back? I don't know. He was out last game.
Yeah.
Al Horford was out with COVID. This is so back and forth, guys. It's so back and forth. Part of it feels like Boston should be up 3-0 and they're down 2-1 right now.
Yeah.
They have absolutely blown so many advantages in this. Kyle Lowry didn't play the first 2 games. I know Miami was home, but Kyle, you saw how much he meant to the Heat in Game 3. He means a lot. He takes a lot of weight and pressure off Jimmy. He's just a floor general, and it doesn't show up on stats. He's vital to that team. Bam Adebayo was a no-show in the first 2 games. Now, he was fantastic in Game 3, but he was a no-show. Tyler Hero has been on and off. He'll make a couple buckets in a row, and then he'll vanish for 2 quarters. Duncan Robinson isn't even on the floor. Where is he? And then the Heat have 2 guards that they got off the bargain rack, and they've been playing rather well, but not at a level that they should be beating Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Al Horford and Robert Williams. And I could go on and on and on. The Celtics have a deep plethora of B to B plus players on that team. They're clearly more talented, partially just because of their depth. But the Heat don't take any time off. and they grind and they wear on you. So if you are not playing at your best, they will grind you to a halt and they will find a way to win those ugly games. And that's why the Heat are up 2-1.
Yeah.
The Celtics will just bombard the Heat at times and they'll beat them, but the Heat are still there. They don't go anywhere. You do not break them mentally. And they are more mentally tough than just about any other team in the playoffs left, probably even from the beginning. And they will withstand all of those avalanches. And so when Boston's playing at their best, Miami doesn't have a chance. But I haven't seen that Boston very often in this series. And they've had a couple quarters where not just like a player or two has vanished, the whole team basically has vanished. And you can't have Peyton Pritchard be the best player on the court at times for the Celtics. Jason Tatum can't get 10 points in a game. Yeah. That cannot happen. If he's supposed to be the superstar that we're all saying he is, then why isn't he getting a lot more backlash for that performance? That was a horrible performance by any measure for any superstar to get 10 points. 10 points. It has to be better than that. And so while I would still probably say Boston wins this series because, again, them playing at their best, they are better than Miami. They are the better team. I expect Boston to win tonight, especially no Tyler Hero, and maybe Jimmy's not 100%. But it's a weird series. It looks like Boston's a better team, but they're losing right now. They gave up home court advantage right back to Miami. Nothing else would probably surprise me if it happens in this series. But that's a whole like recap right there. It's been a weird, strange series. It's been fun. It's been fun. I just wish the games were a little more competitive.
I know.
Sure. Well, here's the crazy thing with it. Miami has only led 2 of the 12 quarters played so far.
That's so crazy.
Like, even then you say that, and like Boston on paper at least should have had this series.
Yes.
But again,
it was the third quarter on Saturday,
exactly,
Josh.
Exactly.
They got buried. It was done.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't even know what happened. Exactly.
Wow, what a stat.
You're absolutely right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
isn't that insane?
Yeah, that is insane. Johnny, your recap's good because you pointed out Bam Adebayo. He was virtually, I'm not going to say non-existent because he was still playing pretty good defense, but offensively way down from what you expect from a player like Bam who's been in this situation before and has shown that he's capable. Game 3 Bam, I will say I generally agree that Boston is the better team, but if Game 3 Bam shows up like he did and plays this well in the series, then Miami's going to win, and they're going to win quickly.
If Jimmy's healthy.
Yes, assuming if Jimmy's healthy. And it's interesting. I didn't have a chance to watch Game 3 live, so I watched it after it was over and after I knew that Jimmy Butler had exited with that injury. And it was kind of shocking at the time, but I had the kind of advantage in the hindsight of watching it and kind of watching Jimmy Butler. And it was, it actually was more obvious than you realized. He was very passive. At points was giving up wide open layups, and passing to his teammates instead, not going hard after loose balls, which is very unlike Jimmy Butler. So we'll see. He's going to give it a go. He's going to give everything he has, but that's going to be a huge factor for Miami moving on, as has all of these injuries, right? The Marcus Smart injury for Boston, which had my goodness, he had a really, really bad sprained ankle. You thought maybe his series was done, and here he comes limping back out of the locker room, finished the game, and I don't know how he's feeling now. I can't imagine that is feeling any better now on a couple days rest than it did during the game when it was still warm. But either way, what Marcus Smart means to the Celtics, it's crazy. So yeah, I agree, guys. It's been a really good series, but I've enjoyed watching Dallas and Golden State more, partially because of the stars that are there, but partially because the games have been better for the most part. But Josh, it's not exactly going Dallas's way. They are now down 3-0. No team has come back from that.
So you're saying there's a chance to make history?
Yeah, kind of. Look, if any team's going to do it, it could be this Dallas team because of the number of threes that they shoot and the number of turnovers that Golden State commits sometimes. Now, that being said, Dallas cannot find a shot to save their life.
No. Let me read you, since you liked my other stat. This stat will probably make you just as joyous. And here's the thing. And we talked about this danger. I believe we talked about it with the Jazz when they were playing the Jazz series, and why we were worried about them going, potentially why we were worried with them going to 7 games. with Phoenix, just to make sure that, I mean, one less game with the Warriors, they were going to be that much more rested, and that was a concern. Why? Ever have that time when like your brain forgets that words exist?
There it is.
I looked at numbers and I went, these mean nothing to me. Golden State has a very, even deep bench sounds weird to say, but they have a more even spread. But they do. They have a more even spread of playmakers. Last night, well, game 3 nights, you can do the math.
Yeah.
Wiggins had 27 points. Green had 10. Looney 9. Thompson 19. And obviously Steph Curry with 31. That's a nice wide disparity. There are people you can pass the ball to. Now let me read you some much less fun.
And it changes night to night though.
Yeah. And it changes night to night. Exactly.
Too.
There's no one there's no one person you can like guarantee guard and like know that that's going to solve the issues.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. You can always guard Luka. You can always guard him. And sometimes that's most effective. Sometimes you can't even do it. Last night, or again, you do the math. Luka put up 40. Brunson, to be fair, put up 20. Bullock, nothing. Yeah. Dinwiddie did 26, but then Brunson did 20. Like 3, like there's nothing you can do with that. He can score. Luka can score 50, 60 points a game. And statistically, when he does that, you have the specific stat, Aaron.
Guys,
when
Luka scores 40
points,
plus, the Mavericks are 2-6 in the playoffs, and that's the worst.
That means
that's the worst record of any player that has 40 plus in that situation.
It's insane. And so what that means is when he's scoring that much, it means that he's trying to compensate. It feels like he's trying to compensate for the lack of depth from his teammates. Yep. And so, you talk about, okay, so is this going to be one of those guys who is unfortunately just not excellent in the playoffs? And obviously this is just the first year on a new coach, we're going to get this around. Like there's no long-term concerns yet, but a short-term concern is that it's Luka and he can't count on anyone else in any given game. Mm-hmm. There were big people who stepped up in the Phoenix series. It also helps that Phoenix absolutely imploded.
Yeah.
Not to take away 7 games to 7 games. That is a grind, and you can't take away from that. At the same time, and here's another thing to think about. Like it didn't have to be this way. I believe in, let's see if I can find it. Here it is. At one point on Friday night, that would have been game 1. Warriors were down by 19.
Yeah.
And now they're 3-0. Literally, by the time we're recording this, just about like 3 days later, 2.5 days later, like
it's over. The series is over. It's over.
The series is over. It's literally over.
Yep.
It's over anyway.
It is over anyway, statistically. But yeah, there is a reason that Golden State is such a feared and hated team. They're deep. They're diverse. You cannot count on your defensive plays actually working, because then someone else will just step up. And so I think this is when, looking forward into the future, Dallas has obviously a great structure. Building the team around Luka, giving him some weapons has been good. He needs people who he can count on to actually make some plays, because it is clear when he starts making more plays, everyone else drops back, or it is because everyone else has dropped back. That's not how you win championships.
I would argue, Josh, part of this is on Luka's playing style, though. That it's his fault.
That's fair. No,
that it's his fault, but this is a LeBron James thing. Yeah. This is a Michael Jordan thing. This is when you are an excellent player and you can get a bucket whenever you want. The temptation is to do exactly that. Even if you are double teamed, even when you are facing up and it's a bad matchup and Draymond Green's on you and you're in the paint. But having an understanding that I have to bring everybody with me. And this might not be the cast of characters for him to get this done. I don't think Dallas has done quite good enough to get a surrounding cast around him. I think it's more of an indictment on that than anything. However, Luka still needs to grow a lot defensively.
A reminder that he's 23 years old, by the way.
Yes. Yes, he has a lot of room for growth.
He's got some time.
Especially on the defensive end, though. He is too much of a liability.
Yes.
Luka's not in shape, and he has the highest usage rate, I believe, in the playoffs and across the last 3 years. He needs to be in shape when he comes into next season. I know we're already talking about next season, but the Mavs will win game 4 at best and then get a gentleman's sweep. Yeah. Like, that's how this goes, everybody. So we're already talking about, if I'm the Mavs, take a big swing this offseason. Take a real big swing. Go get somebody to help Luka out. But Luka needs to be willing to defer to them at times. Not that they're going to be better than Luka, but there has to be times. Why are the Warriors brilliant? Literally in game 3, Steph at points in the game was like, no, Wiggins has got it. Go get yours. You're on tonight. It's your turn. Let's go. He'll do that with Clay constantly. He'll do it with Draymond. Heck, he'll do it with Looney.
Yeah.
Like, really.
When I knew Golden State was truly back this year, it was in that Memphis series when it's like Steph is struggling, Clay's struggling, Poole's not even doing that well. Freaking Otto Porter is sinking 4 threes in the corner. It's like, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do with that because you have all of these menaces on the court and Otto Porter is still hitting threes. And I'm like, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. It is selfless basketball. Listen, I can't stand the Warriors from the Cavs days. I like them a little bit better now without Kevin Durant on them, but Draymond doesn't help anything. But they play basketball the right way.
Oh, man. It's
and
so
that
pretty.
is why they are so good. That's why this is long lasting. Yeah. Guys, they're not going anywhere. I know
they aren't.
You know, Clay's probably not going to last that much longer. Just those injuries have really taken a toll on him, I believe. Draymond's probably not either. But Looney's not old. You have Kuminga coming up. You have Jordan Poole coming up. You know, Steph is, I believe, 34, but he's going to age well. And so maybe you move him to the 2, and Jordan can take the point guard role at some point. Like, you have these young guys budding and coming up in the ranks with them. There's a nice stagger here if you're the Warriors. And now dynasties never last as long as you think they will. So something's probably going to happen that'll blow it up. But they're not going anywhere in the playoffs the next few years. They are here to stay. They are going to be a menace and a top competitor in the West for a long time with those guys budding and flourishing. And they're doing that because they have selfless teammates that want them to grow, want them to get their opportunities. And let's be honest, with one elite player styled teams, that's not always happening. And that's what I need to see a little bit more out of Luka. Bringing Jalen Brunson alongside you, pull him up alongside you and let him and help him get his opportunities. Not just when you're off the court, he can go and do his, but no, when you're on the court together, making it work and being all the more devastating so that they can't double.
Yeah.
That's what we need to see out of Luka, and that's the brilliance of Golden State.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Luka's
last thing we wanted.
Go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
I was just saying, last thing we wanted was to become another Carmelo Anthony, where it's the only shooter, and he knows he's the only shooter. And what did he do for the Knicks? So
scored a bunch of points, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not calling him. I think he's already a lot more well-rounded a player than Carmelo. However,
he's a brilliant passer.
Still there. Exactly. He's not a selfish
just doesn't
player
do it enough.
Exactly.
And again, it's one of those things. I'm curious when this series is actually over, what kind of the media narrative around Luka will be. And quite frankly, I don't care because the media can say whatever they want. But it's interesting because you've got a stat like the fact that Andrew Wiggins has the best plus and minus in this series by a healthy margin. Wiggins was just fantastic in game 3.
He's a great defender.
Great defender, has been on Luka primarily, had an insane dunk in game 3, one of the best playoff dunks you'll ever see, right on top of Luka.
Oh, truly.
And then you have Luka, who, yes, is scoring 40 plus points a game, but has the worst plus minus rating at like minus 65. And again, stats lie. Are you really going to argue to me that the Mavericks would be better off if Luka never played? No, that's ridiculous, and that's where people read into this too much. There's also stats out there that point to the fact that Luka is scoring more at his age than anyone has ever scored in the playoffs. And that includes Wilt Chamberlain, and that includes Michael Jordan. And he's 23. So I think there's a lot of lessons learned. Both Luka is really, really that guy. Like, he has top 3 player in the NBA potential. And on the other hand, now that you have this enormous spotlight, a bigger spotlight than Luka has ever had, you are starting to see some weaknesses in his game, or at least they're more in the public eye, such as, you're right, the fact that he's not in shape, doesn't play great defense, was getting, people were driving right around him last night. And those two things are obviously, they go together. If you're not in good shape, you're not going to play good defense, and you're going to get exposed on that front. So that's just a lot of information for you, but it's just kind of pieces to think about when we're talking about Luka moving forward, what the Mavericks need to do for him. I think the biggest thing, the most glaring thing to me, is the Mavericks have to fix the center position, because that's where they're getting killed. They have no inside game. Guys, the Warriors are playing zone and box and one on Luka. I can't tell you the last time I've seen that much box and one played in the NBA, let alone in the conference finals. I mean, the basketball fan in me loves it. It's just crazy. Like, the stuff that you'd only see drawn up in high school AAU ball, right? Occasionally college. Sure. Like, that's crazy. They're playing a box and one against Luka. And that, to me, is glaringly obvious that they do not have the guys inside. Dwight Powell, good for him. He's not the answer. Maxi Kleber, who's really struggled, his confidence is gone. Not the answer. Not that you should get rid of those guys necessarily, because they are part of the reason why you've reached this point. Kleber had his moments. He had an 8 in round 1, 8 3-pointers in a game. It might have even been 9. I can't remember. So he's got that stretch potential, but they've got to figure out the center position. Obviously, Kristaps Porzingis was not the answer. And in fact, if anything, Kristaps has prevented Dallas from getting to this point already with how good Luka is. But they've got to figure out that part in particular. And I mean,
keep swinging though.
Yeah.
Like, you swung for Porzingis, you were wrong. That's okay. Swing again.
Yep.
And this is also the first time with Luka the Mavs have even won a playoff series.
Correct.
So let's not panic. Aaron has said he's 20. Aaron 23 or 24.
I think 23. Either way, super young.
Like, so young. So Aaron said it multiple times. There is absolutely no reason to panic for Dallas. I think Dallas overall, if Dallas had lost that game 7 to Phoenix, nobody would have said a thing.
Yeah.
So let's not over exaggerate, but there is a reality of, is this team really capable even of winning a series against Golden State, even if it's a year older Golden State,
who, as you pointed out, is not going away. So you're going to have to beat this Golden State team.
Phoenix might not be going away.
Yep.
Memphis. What if Memphis is healthy? Memphis is the team. Like, right now, you're staring at like the playoffs and reading into everything, and you're like, well, Memphis is clearly the second best team in the West. Clearly, like, who knows? Maybe they even had the capacity to beat Golden State if Ja doesn't get hurt. They go 6 and are playing tight with Golden State every game. So there's a lot of things here. Don't panic, but at the same time, you do need to be realistic and just think through. Is this team even capable, as presently constructed, of winning a title? And these questions have to be answered quickly, because Jalen Brunson's a free agent this year.
Yeah.
And if you re-sign him, that's money you're not giving to a center position, Aaron. Exactly. That is like, so unless it's a sign and trade type of deal, there's a lot of things that it'll be an interesting offseason in Dallas to see what they end up deciding to do.
Panic in a very calm and rational fashion, and everything will be just fine.
Oh man. Yeah. Dallas, the fact that you had Dirk Nowitzki there for so long, like that, the big guy, quote unquote, was filled for so long. Like there is, it almost feels like it's a bigger absence that you would normally think of, because you had such a legend like Dirk there for so long. They're going to have to figure that out. And I'll be honest, like, I haven't spent enough time looking at upcoming free agents or trades that they need to be, making. I'm still kind of focused on this playoff series, but in a couple weeks, I think those will be the conversations we're having. Like, it's time to think about who are some people that Dallas can get to help out Luka, because windows are not usually open for as long as they've been open for Golden State. And even then, Golden State had a couple years where they missed the playoffs entirely. So, but here they are, and it looks like they are primed and ready for another NBA Finals run against either Celtics or the Heat. Should be fascinating, and it's been good so far. All right, well, The NBA is known for their drama, and now so is college football. Guys, we were celebrating 100
College
days.
football is full of drama.
Can't imagine that. We were celebrating
Never.
100 days left until college football kicks off, and wow, we celebrated or did we celebrate? I don't know. We're celebrating. It was fun. It was entertaining.
I did.
Yeah, double
I
digits,
looked at
guys.
football.
But we had some drama, and it all started with one Nick Saban. He was meeting with a group of local business leaders on Wednesday, and somehow in the conversation they got on the subject of his former assistant Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M, who, if you don't remember, did beat Alabama in College Station this year. And Nick Saban made the comment that Texas A&M head coach Jimbo Fisher bought every player in the 2022 recruiting class, which, by the way, for Texas A&M is shaping up to be one of the best in recent history, both for their program and for any team, considering the number of players they have in the top 100, if you pay attention to any of those metrics. Of course, that comment did not go without a response. Jimbo clapped back saying, "We never bought anybody." That was my Jimbo Fisher impression, everybody. Some people think they're God. I wonder who he's referring to. And also said what he does and how he does it. Again, can't imagine who he is referring to. It's despicable. And then you had other coaches chipping in their thoughts. But before we get into all that, what was your guys' takeaway from this pretty petty Alabama, Texas A&M, Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher conversation? Because obviously it's got a lot of attention.
Saban loses to two individual former assistants, and now he can't stand it.
Yep.
See, I wonder, especially this past year. First off, Saban's going to play it off as just like the old school. I liked it back when football was pure.
Right.
No, he likes it back when he could win and he could do whatever he needed to get a winning team without any repercussions. Now, see, here's the thing. Only one player on A&M has an NIL deal, at least according to Fisher. Now, this whole thing started back in February when, to be fair, an anonymous user named Sliced Bread.
Sounds legit here, to me. Yeah.
Sounds verified.
Claims that when Sliced Bread posts on brobible.com, this is going to be a fantastic article. You listen. Everyone, tilt your chairs over here. Claims that there's about $25 to $30 million spent on NIL deals from donors at A&M. So that's where this kind of originated from. Here's the thing. That's all, first off, allegations. I don't think they have to report donor numbers. Do they? I don't think they do.
Not to my knowledge.
And they would find they would find a way at this point to not report it.
Correct.
We know A&M has a really large alum network. Really does. Down in Dallas, my gosh, I can tell by their
I believe it.
I'll be in a class and I'll just hear this. And it's just them tapping their rings. And I'm like, I got 1, 2, 3. Yep, I got five Aggies in my class today. Great. I love this stuff. They talk. They're just not words. Goodness.
Oh no.
On Aggies for a sec. My gosh, they will literally. I would work alongside them. A few of them.
The Aggies have taken over, guys.
My time.
They heard him
about the good old days at the Aggies. I've made their coffee already. I'm just trying to slide it through the order counter because they've not even moved yet. And they just will sit there holding up the line, talking about the good old days of the Aggies. 12th man, great. Can you just put your ring away? No one cares. There we go. Next week it'll be Aggies angry at me.
Yeah, there you go. We're gonna guys. Our goal is to each anger a fan base. Good job, Josh. You've done well.
Yes. But we know that again. A&M strong alum network, strong donor network.
Oil money.
So deeply that Alabama's football team has so much more coming in.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing it is always going to be. I mean,
maybe not so much more, but yeah, at least the same amount. I would
for the
bet.
Football and where it counts, and so. And regardless, we've already talked about this. Saban has historically known how to bend the rules where he has assistants or interns that are clearly doing the work of full assistants. But doing it in a way that where he's not violating the max amount of coaches he can have on his staff.
Right.
This is a man who's always wanted to bend the rules. He finally found, at the very least, at the very worst, he trained a guy to play by a system that he created, and he got mad when it blew up in his face.
Mm-hmm.
That's at worst here. At best, Saban's, I feel like he's just getting a little bit, he seems a touch crankier this last
which
season.
Worries you if you're playing Alabama this year.
Exactly. You got to be a little bit worried, but it's very like he's angry at like the football culture, it seems like, because we talked about him going off on his own fans. He's already had this, like, he's been one of the biggest dissenters for NIL stuff. Like, this has been one of the weirdest, like, I don't know where this switch is, but I think he's just finally, I think people are finally catching up to him as far as like their tricks. And I think he's getting jealous because he's no longer the only guy with the game in town.
Yeah. To your point, Josh, there's a few dynamics going on here. One is the NCAA has clearly, and listen, this is going to sound like Big Ten bias here, but the NCAA has basically turned a blind eye to most of the SEC buying players. For some reason, they have truly allowed that to happen in the SEC. And that's not like it hasn't happened in other situations, in other conferences and at other schools. But for some reason, they've basically said, yep, the SEC can do whatever the heck they want. Now all of that's above ground. It's all on the table, and people don't like that when that has been their advantage beforehand. So that's part of Saban. But the whole SEC has been doing that too. Here's why he's upset. Saban doesn't go off just to go off. It's very planned and precise when he goes off. Mm-hmm. He's not an erratic person typically. It might appear that way, but he comes to the press conference with a point to make and an axe to grind and is just waiting for an opportunity to do it. Basically, I am here. I'm going to say what I want. I don't care what your question is. Here's the thing. He's scared. Nick is scared. I know that sounds crazy. He's scared because guess what, guys? Texas A&M does have more money than Alabama. They do. And this is how so. And this is not illegal. It is not even against NCAA rules yet. So while you might not like it and it might feel a little icky, it is allowed. So the heart of NIL is truly, oh, sophomore on my team had a fantastic freshman year. The car dealership wants him to be on some commercials. Yeah. Here's a check for a few $1,000s. Wonderful. That's the heart of name, image, and likeness, how everybody pictures it. Here's what A&M has been doing. Donor pools, where all their donors and boosters are pooling their funds together and basically splitting off checks for players. Now, technically, you're not allowed to just, hey, here's a check if you come to Texas A&M. But that's kind of,
but no one's enforcing that. No one is enforcing that.
How do you determine that? Like, that is truly hearsay about whether they came to A&M and then we offered them the money and gave them the check, or we offered them the money and then they came to A&M. They're going to know about the money either way. It almost doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it's just technical speaking, really. There, A&M has more money, guys. They have more money. Forget about football for a second. Texas A&M in College Station near Houston, Texas, with all of that oil money, with all of their agricultural money, their money as a school, Texas and that university are vastly richer than the state of Alabama and that university. Saban sees what's happening. Texas A&M, USC, Miami, they're coming for you, and they're coming for your throat. They have the money now, and because they're allowed to lean on that wealth more and not get in trouble for it and flash that, Saban sees that. He's not dumb. And so he's not just upset about the rules because of the spirit of the game, which he might be. But this is about him losing an advantage. A&M players are going to get their money. But, guys, Alabama might even struggle to compete with Ohio State when it comes to some money, when it comes to those things. So there are some real economics that are coming into this situation now. Yeah. And again, A&M, that's not really the spirit of the NIL with all your donors. Hey, let's pool all of our money together. So now we have a ton of money in a pool and let's just split off checks for players. That's what Saban's referring to when he says buying players.
Correct.
But they're technically speaking not, and it's allowed. So, you might not like that they're doing that, but they're not breaking any rules. And like you guys said, Saban's upset because somebody else is able to push the rules in a way that he's not really able to. Remember the context of this. He's talking with a bunch of local business leaders. Saban's basically saying, I need you to do the same thing.
Yep.
Help me out here. And so that's the spirit of this. I have no problem with Jimbo coming back at Nick. You got to defend your players. You got to defend your program. Even if I'm not even saying Nick's lying. I don't think Nick said anything that's a lie, but you also can't single out a certain program like that.
Yeah.
You're all doing it. Everyone's doing it. When everyone's doing it, you can't just pick out a certain specific person. And why would you do it to one of your former assistants who knows all your dirt? I'm sure.
Yeah. That's the crazy thing. And people have said this coming out of this, where you're kind of, if you will, quote unquote, exposing the dirt. Because everyone, how has Nick Saban made it this far without really being quote unquote exposed? And the answer is because everyone's doing it. Who's the clean person that's going to expose Nick Saban? It's certainly not one of his assistants who, here we are now, who have been, Josh, as you said, trained under a system built to bend the rules. And look, it has worked. Nick Saban is arguably the greatest college football coach ever.
Yeah.
It's worked. But yeah, who's really going to be the one that steps out and says, oh yeah, Nick Saban did this and this and this? Well, either you've never done anything wrong in your life, which we know that's not true if you're a college football coach, or you're willing to also simultaneously admit all the wrongs that you've done. And I don't think there's a lot of coaches that are willing to do that because, I hate to break it to you, but D1 college coach probably has a bit of an ego. And that's partially, you need that in order to coach at that level to a certain extent. So, Jonny, I think your point is really, really good. And I'm glad you brought some of that stuff up. And the way you put it, it makes me think of the conversation went more like this. Nick Saban was sitting there like, oh man, Texas A&M can't believe they're doing this. They can't believe they're paying their players this much money from their locally funded business pool of money. Oh, that's horrible. I mean, who's going to compete with that? Looks around the room. I can't imagine how we're going to compete with that. All right, well, we'll see you guys next year. That's how, now that you've put it that way, I know for a fact that's how that conversation went.
Exactly. There's always a point. There's always a purpose.
Yeah.
It's not as erratic as it sounds.
Yeah, you're right.
He just got burned for it for once, and that's not typical.
Yeah. Well, and we had a bunch of coaches on Twitter and other places giving their comments. Lane Kiffin is one of the best follows on Twitter if you haven't already. He was just basically tweeting popcorn the entire time while he was probably sitting back and enjoying this. Himself, a former Saban assistant. You had coaches like Steve Spurrier, former Florida and South Carolina coach, basically doing what you said, Jonny, saying, well, Nick, where he's not wrong, that was basically Steve Spurrier's comments. Also, side note, we talked about this last week about the NCAA removing, or not the NCAA, we talked about the potential of divisions going away in conferences in football. And then this week, the NCAA made a rule, or rather got rid of a rule saying that you had to have divisions if you have a certain amount of teams in a conference. That's gone away. So the guys, the Pac-12 immediately saying no divisions. So this year, 2022 college football, the Pac-12 North and South, goodbye. They are no longer in existence. Now, of course, the odd thing is the schedules. These teams are still playing the North divisions and, their respective teams and their respective divisions, but that's going away. The Mountain West is saying as soon as 2023, they're doing away with divisions. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's kind of a follow-up to last week because there was some actual news. We had kind of just projected the idea and the ACC had brought it up and then it became a real thing. So, yeah, there you go. But wild. So less than 100 days, guys. College football. It'll be here before you know it. It's a good time.
Can't wait.
Yeah, can't wait. All right, Jonny, talk to us about the other kind of football because the EPL, the English Premier League, was I'll be honest, I was following other things, but I was scrolling through Twitter, catching up on some NBA game film, and people were freaking out at what was happening. And there was good reason for that. So Johnny, would you break
Tell
it?
us.
Yeah, tell us. Would break it down for us, would you?
Yeah. So, typically the English Premier League, the championship is not that dramatic. And that's because there's no end of the year playoffs or tournament. The champion for the English Premier League is decided via the regular season. Whoever has the most points after 38 games wins the title. And so Man City won with 93 points total, beating out Liverpool with 92. It's one of the closest races we've had in a really, really long time. But let me set the table for you on Saturday and kind of what was going on. So we get to Saturday, Liverpool and Man City, it's a 1-point gap. Man City's up by a point, meaning a tie is 1 point, a win is 3. So if Man City even ties, Liverpool wins their match, Liverpool would win the Champions League. So we got a real, real tight race there. And it was looking great for Liverpool for much of the match. Liverpool defeated Wolves 3-1. They let Wolves score that 3 minutes in, but they came back, tied it before half, and got 2 late goals to make sure that they won. Meanwhile, all their fans, this is going on at the exact same time, which I also love that the game matches were at the exact same time. Well done, English Premier League, to have these games going on at the same time. Everybody's trying to keep up with all of them. The same with Arsenal and Tottenham and some of these other games I'll mention later. Man City is down 1-0 at half. They're down 2-0 in the 70th minute. Of course, at this point, Liverpool fans are thrilled. Man City fans have to be panicking a little bit. And then Man City, the avalanche came and they just blew the doors off Aston Villa with 15 minutes to go in the game, scoring in the 76th minute, the 78th minute, and the 81st minute.
Wow.
3 goals blitzing them right there at the end. Aston Villa is kind of a middling team towards the bottom, really, in the Premier League table, but they came out ready to spoil, and I love it. This is one of the things I love about the Premier League. The regular season just matters so much, even with 38 games. We'll get to why it matters for some other teams as well, as not just going for the title here in a moment. But well done, Man City. I mean, I believe that's 4 out of the last 5 years for them winning the Premier League. It's a heck of an accomplishment. It was a fantastic race. The last 8 games specifically between Man City and Liverpool, super fun. Some other teams, Arsenal, unfortunately, really blew it down the stretch to get into that 4th spot. Tottenham took advantage. Arsenal did do their job on Saturday, beating Everton 5-1, but Tottenham beat Norwich. I mean, they're playing 2 of the worst teams really there in the Premier League, so there wasn't much hope coming into the day for Arsenal, really. Norwich is getting relegated easily this year. So Tottenham beats out Arsenal slightly right there to get into that 4th spot. They beat Arsenal by 2 points. Why that 4th spot matters for those of you who aren't familiar, the top 4 go to the Champions League, which for better use in terms, it's basically the World Cup for club teams. They play more of a tournament style, though, with some home and homes in the Champions League. And so that determines the top club for the year. So we'll have Liverpool and Real Madrid coming up to finish that up shortly for the Champions League this year. That should be a fantastic match. But so that was sad as an Arsenal fan, but still a much better year for them. But the most fun for those not worried about relegation was coming into the day. Leeds United and Burnley were tied at 35 points each. Why that matters? The bottom 3 teams in the table get relegated, which means they drop to the next division. This is huge economically and just the pride of your club and fan base to get relegated to a bottom, a lower tier. And then 3 teams will come up, of course, from that league. So Burnley and Leeds are coming into the day. They're tied at 35 apiece. Leeds is leading in goal differential. That's the only difference, though. So you're thinking, heck, a tie might be the difference. A win might be the difference. They're not playing each other, though. These games are going on at the same time. And Leeds, to their credit, came out and, they survived. They survived the game. They are up 1-0, and then in the 78th minute, Brentford ties it, and they score in stoppage time to take out Brentford and survive and win that game 2-1. Very dramatic. Brentford got a red card in the 80th minute. You know, that's always going to be a little controversial. Super fun with that. And then Burnley just could not complete their comeback against Newcastle, who spoiled things for Arsenal last week. Burnley had a good run at it at the end. They lose 2-1. They unfortunately get relegated. But all these games were happening at the same time. It was hard to keep up with all of it. You're trying to track everything that's going on. Super fun. Great way to end the EPL season. That was a lot more soccer than most of you would ever care to know or enjoy, but it was a blast of a morning, an early afternoon, watching all of it go down. Again, Champions League final will be coming up, so we're not completely deficient of soccer yet. And you always have your local MLS team as well.
Right. That's right. Josh, what was the thing you sent Johnny and I? You found some like St. Louis or something. I was confused. I'd never seen it before.
Yeah, me too. So as part of the MLS expansion, St. Louis is grabbing one of their very own MLS teams.
Okay, I missed
And
that.
so me too. Unless they're just like making it like a really cool like name and logo, and it's not actually being added, and it's more like I don't know what the lower.
I'll do the thing where we Google live during the show for you, Josh.
Live during the show. Yeah, I just sent that. I wasn't even sure. Yeah, so they're calling it right now. I saw the shirt for it. St. Louis City, obviously styling themselves. It's St. Louis.
They start next year.
Oh yeah, they do. Look at that.
Yeah, so they're real.
Cool.
Yeah, they're going up right near where the Blues play. Just a few blocks down from where the Cardinals are playing. So yeah, they're making a whole arena district over there.
Nice.
But should be St. Louis City SC, obviously styling itself after Man City or any other fun cities. It's not the best name, I don't think. St. Louis City just doesn't roll off the tongue super nice.
It's just because it's already 2 words.
Right.
It's already exactly.
And it's already a city. We get it, guys. But
like Manchester City makes sense because it's Manchester. Like it's one word. 3 words is a lot. But that's okay. Let them live.
Yeah,
let them live.
Hey, that's good though. More MLS teams. I'm here for it. That's
more
good.
MLS teams.
Yeah. All right. Well, very cool. And obviously, 6 months from now, roughly a little less than that, actually, we've got some World Cup action. So we will, continue to give you soccer updates as we kind of ramp up towards that big tournament. All right. I know that was fun and all, but the real news you guys wanted to hear was the New Orleans Breakers update. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, your New Orleans Breakers are 4-2 this season. They just picked up a win last week. I think they had a 97-yard pick six to go with their win. And guys, they have an automatic win lined up this week because they're playing the 1-5 Michigan Panthers. So let's go. We're rolling on to 5-2 this week. So
5-2, guys.
New Orleans Breakers, everybody. Love to see it. Love our team. I've watched so much of them for sure this year that love our team. So
love this team that we have all contractually agreed to watch.
Correct.
Every single minute of.
Yeah,
we've watched this team so much.
Yeah, love
like
those
families.
I do know Johnny Dixon is on that team, so good for him.
Man, his teammates.
Yeah, all of them, man.
You gotta love them.
Yeah. Hey, when they roll through the championship, everyone's gonna know their names, even us. So
everyone's gonna know their names exactly, including us.
Including us. All right, Josh. I feel like you should kick off this week's picks of the week because
let's do it.
Because you know why.
I got that magic in me.
Yeah, you do.
And I got that magic because they won the lottery.
Yes.
That we picked on. I don't even know who Aaron and Johnny picked. It didn't matter.
I got second.
Because I won.
So close.
You got second. That's close.
That's two picks in a row. 2 picks in a row.
Exactly. So what we're looking at now. One of these days, Johnny, you'll get there. So I'm starting to pull away a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm at 33 points. Aaron and Johnny are both tied at 31 points. And again, this goes pretty much until the world ends.
Correct.
We'll try and time it. Our goal to you, our promise to you that we
Okay.
will not keep, is that we'll try and end it the week before the world ends. That way you can have some sort of closure in your life, as there was closure and everything else. That is our halfway promise. That is our halfway promise to you. You're welcome. This week, we are picking the SEC Baseball Conference Tournament.
Yeah.
The selection Monday for the NCAA tournament is going to be on May 30th, but this actual tournament will run May 24th through 29th. It'll be at the Hoover Met Stadium in Hoover, Alabama, near Birmingham. So it should be a lot of fun. I'll start us off because I'm picking apparently like a non-standard choice. I'm picking Arkansas because I'm kind of digging the logo right now. I don't know. It's just speaking to me.
Okay. Nice. I am picking a favorite.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, yeah, I'm picking a favorite. Tennessee has been really, really good all year. They've got a guy that throws like 105. If you believe the Tennessee, the home radar gun, and I don't believe it quite to that extent because 105, you're talking about some of the fastest pitches ever being thrown. But either way, kid throws fast. Tennessee, good at baseball. They're really good. They were far and away the one seed in the SEC. And by the way, you're probably not a huge college baseball fan. I get that. I don't really tune into too much college baseball until this time of year because the SEC is just stacked with really good teams, really good players. Most major league rosters, like starting rotation or starting lineup, have an SEC player on them because they produce really, really good talent. So I do really enjoy this tournament. I am going to pick Tennessee, who they've had their ups and downs. The SEC always has really strong teams, but it's kind of ironic that it's Tennessee really good this year and not their neighbors Vanderbilt. It could be Tennessee's year, so we'll see if they continue that through the SEC tournament and through the NCAA tournament, where they will be a regional host and possibly a super regional host, assuming that things go well for them there. So, yeah.
I'm the same as Aaron for the same reasons. Don't really need to repeat anything.
Yep. All right. Well, there you go. Josh, if Arkansas wins, I don't know what we're going to do because that might be one of the biggest leads any of us has ever had on this show. And that's saying something because, yeah, we're on episode 64, which is pretty sweet. Okay. Guys, you know what that means.
I was tempted to pick A&M, but
yeah,
I just spent like 10 minutes trying out.
Well, I think isn't the funny thing is isn't A&M the second best seed in this tournament? If I'm remembering correctly,
they are, but I'm not.
So.
But their record, unless they just happen to beat, like technically Arkansas, like
has a better overall
A&M's
record.
Better in the SEC, but Arkansas is better overall, just by a game.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Oh, that's funny. We should have just picked the Alabama and Texas A&M game. That's not happening for like 6 months. We should have picked that today. That's what we should have done.
I'll go A&M on that one.
Yeah.
We'll lock that in.
It's at Alabama, man. I'm picking Alabama. I don't think Saban loses.
It's at Alabama?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. We'll see. We've got some time.
No, I'm gonna pick it. I'm gonna pick it for the drama because if they lose at home, holy crap.
All right, cool. Way too early pick. Over 100 days.
Way too early pick.
I love it. Amazing.
Just enough time to
I think, you know what? It makes up for the picks that we make, and then our audience already knows the results. It makes up for all of the times that we've done that, I feel like. So, all right, guys, you know what time it is, though.
Why don't we pick our college football champions now?
I mean, it can't be worse than what we did.
Just do it now.
This season. Can't be worse.
Truly cannot.
Cannot be worse. Okay. You know what time it is. It's what we're following, guys. And I am following the fact that we have upset the entire Chicago Bears franchise. If you are not a subscriber on our YouTube channel, you should be for a variety of different reasons. Number one, because we live stream the recording of this podcast every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. But number two, we also have just normal YouTube videos coming out. Like we had one on the NFL draft where actually it was taken from this podcast, funny enough, but where we walked through a couple of Johnny's favorite draft performances and some of his least favorite performances. And of course, the Chicago Bears were on his least favorite list. And I agree with you. I think we kind of all agreed that yes, the Bears have needs in their secondary, which is where they spent their first 2 picks, but they really need to help out Justin Fields on the offensive line. They really need to give him better weapons. And basically the video was describing that. Now, was the title a little bit clickbaity? Kinda, because I said that Chicago Bears are ruining Justin Fields. That might be a bit strong, but at the same time, they might actually be ruining Justin Fields. Either way,
They actually might be, though.
they actually might be. Either way, we found some Chicago Bears fans, or rather, they found us in the comment section. So we've been having honestly and genuinely like a fun back and forth on that. But that's kind of what I'm following, Johnny. You've done your job. You've stirred up the masses, and we've had some fun conversations about the Bears this week that I didn't think I would be having, but here we are, 3 weeks later after the draft.
Just have to know which fan bases to poke.
That's right. We poke Texas all the time, but they don't care.
Exactly.
So, so if you haven't, subscribe to us on YouTube if that's kind of your thing. We've got some more videos coming out this week. We're also on TikTok. We've just got some fun random videos happening there. So if you're a fan of that, then come check us out.
Johnny, mine will be quick. That way we can get to yours. Yours, I think, will very easily finish out our discussion. Y'all like cheese? Y'all familiar with this thing called cheese?
Yes. Big fan.
My body
Okay,
doesn't.
good.
I like it.
Oh,
Okay. So in Springfield, Missouri, which is just a 3.5-hour drive from where I am right now in St. Louis, there is a really cool cave. And this cave has cheese, specifically the surplus cheese that is produced every year from dairy farmers because of the very nice subsidies they get. Now, this is some of this cheese is the base cheese that is used to make American cheese, government cheese, Velveeta.
Wait, government cheese?
Heckin' government cheese? Government cheese. Oh, yes. History lesson real
Is
quick.
that a brand?
Before I tell you, no, well,
Government cheese.
it kind of has become a brand. Back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan enacted the public distribution of this excess cheese starting in 1981. They would just give 5-pound blocks away as part of like the
What?
temporary emergency food assistance program. Government cheese, as it became to be known, became a totem of American culture. It's actually referenced in Jay-Z's songs, Kendrick Lamar songs. In 2017, Snoop Dogg actually went on to Martha Stewart's, I believe, her show and actually taught her how to cook with it. It became a staple for a lot of lower income Americans. So yeah, when I say government cheese, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, gotcha. I'm tracking.
So, but the government cheese was an effort to try and get rid of all of the excess cheese they had, and it's only gotten worse. Dairy consumption is down by like 36%, while production is up 10%, which those are just cool stats and figures. I'm really curious, guys, how much cheese in pounds do you think is in this really cool limestone cave in Springfield, Missouri?
Not as much as that was there before I got there. That was a bad joke.
650 million pounds.
Yeah, I'm thinking
okay.
tons, so I can do the math if needed. I'm going to say I'm going to say 5,000 tons.
5,000 tons. How many pounds is that? Because I have
10 million.
I'm gonna do that thing where I Google things.
10 million, right? Am I smart? Yeah, 10 million.
Sure.
Yep, 10 million. I got it right,
10
guys.
million?
I can math.
So you said you're 10 million pounds.
Yeah.
Of cheese.
Yep.
Johnny, you went all the way up to what, 650?
650 million pounds.
Dang. I feel like Johnny's right.
Johnny, you're both wrong. It's 1.4 billion.
No. Oh my gosh.
I was halfway there.
Yeah.
In a climate-controlled cave in the middle of Missouri. Oh, yeah, you got to keep that cheese good. Yeah, it is always kept at 34 degrees Fahrenheit.
It still won't be good for long. It still goes bad. How do they cycle out the bad cheese?
It just becomes blue cheese. That's how it works.
You hope that they know what they're doing.
They don't. Really, it's the government. They don't know.
It's 1 point. Yeah, I don't think anyone knows how to properly. To be fair, I don't think anyone knows how to properly take care of 1.4 billion pounds of cheese. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I would say that I don't think many humans are qualified to take care of a billion and a half pounds of cheese.
Oh my
but
gosh.
I don't know. That's just one guy's opinion. So if you like your cheese, you put your money where your mouth is and you drive all the way to Springfield.
I'm about to, man.
Ask for special cave access and be like, and it's all types of cheese too. It's not just like, one type of cheese, but I know for a fact that this is like the stockpile that like Kraft and Velveeta and all those, I guess that's also Kraft, all these guys pull for like their Velveeta and for like Kraft singles and all that. So, you know, if you want to learn how to make your own Kraft singles, go steal a few wheels of cheese and learn how to become a cheesemaker. I don't know.
I love become a cheesemaker. Go to cave, rob it of cheese. You have become a cheesemaker.
Don't go to Wisconsin.
Yeah,
that's far away.
Yeah,
from most of our listeners.
Yeah,
but in Missouri, it's closer. Grab cheese, learn about cheese, become cheese master.
Yeah,
easy.
Man, hobbies are so
that's all
fun.
I got.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know how to segue this to go from caves full of cheese to orangutans and chickens, but we're going to do it. Okay. So this question was posed this week to me. And so I think we need to share it with the listeners and to you two specifically. Would you rather fight an orangutan with a sword once a year or fight a chicken each time you get into your car? Aaron, I would like to hear your answer first.
Honestly, it's orangutan and it's not even close. Because I think I can prepare. I have an entire year to prepare for this duel that I know is happening with an orangutan. And am I going to be sad to defeat this orangutan? Yes. But I feel like the mental toll of having to kill a chicken or at least defeat it every time you get into your car, like, I don't know about you guys, I'm super forgetful. So I like get halfway in walking into the door and realize, oh, dang it, I left something in my car. You're telling me every time I do that, there's just another chicken there that I have to fight? Like, bro, I am out. Give me the orangutan once a year. That's a lot of chickens, man. I can't, that's a lot. Like, yes, do I feel confident that I could beat a chicken every time? Yes. But also, like, you'd get pecked a bunch, you'd get scratched, and like, yes, that would all happen with an orangutan, but at least that happens once a year. Like, every day, oof. Yeah, I'm taking the orangutan.
Question. Does this orangutan know how to use the sword?
That is an important question.
They are primates, so they have opposable thumbs.
Yeah.
Yes,
they can handle the sword properly.
They're familiar with a long stick, basically. It's just a really sharp stick for them. I'm with Johnny. I'm taking orangutan. I'll take orangutan every day. But
well, I don't know if I'm taking the orangutan. Because
here's the thing.
I'm not sure.
Again, I'm assuming I don't get a sword. I get just myself.
The orangutan gets the sword.
And I think very quickly I will get the sword. I don't think this orangutan's, unless is he being trained at some dojo by some ancient master?
It's at face value.
Well, exactly. Okay, here's the other question though too.
I'm not even confident the orangutan's going to
They handed the orangutan a sword. The orangutan is coming to kill you. Okay, he is coming to kill you.
I get that the orangutan does have murder in its eyes, but I don't think that's going to prompt it to You remember watching episode 7 of Star Wars? I believe
you ever watched Planet of the Apes?
I'm going to talk about a much more accurate movie, which is Star Wars Episode 7. But listen, when Rey fought Kylo, spoiler alert, it's been like 6 years, so deal with it. She didn't know how to fight good. She was given a cool sword, and it was a very, very cool sword, and she had lots of motivation to end Kylo. And honestly, he wasn't a good sword fighter either. But just because you have a sword does not automatically mean you're dangerous. And honestly, with an orangutan and a sword, I think I could distract that bad boy just long enough to grab the sword from him, and now I have a sword. And now it's just like normal. Now it's like the plot of Tarzan, unfortunately. So
here's the other question too. In this scenario, are you aware that you will have to fight the orangutan every year? Because here's the thing: the first time could get really sketch. But after an orangutan surprises you with a sword, you are ready for anything for the rest of your life.
I'm ready for anything.
You're ready for anything.
Really though? Would you say the rest of your life? Because there will be a certain point where you do get old enough that you probably would like to keep living, but you no longer have the physical capabilities probably of defeating this orangutan with a sword.
At this point, I know that the orangutan's coming, and I've already purchased several firearms.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm packing, bro.
That's not part of this. You have your bare hands. No, you don't get a gun.
The orangutan does not understand fight honor. It doesn't matter.
I could use a gun. Why wouldn't you just use a gun on a chicken? The chicken that would be part of your morning routine.
It's your car.
You just wake up, grab the chicken, and kill it every morning. There's your lunch for the day too.
Shoot the car every morning. Yeah, I'm gonna get on the news. No, I'm not.
Opens car, fires, and gets in car.
Yeah, that's gonna go real well.
I don't want to be cleaning up chicken every day.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, that's
your
another
dinner.
reason.
Oh wait, also fight a chicken. Here's the thing, though. Here's another thing.
Chickens can be mean.
Yes.
Do I have to fight the chicken to the death, or can I just throw it out and then close my car door really quickly?
Yeah. You also don't have to kill the orangutan, but you have to fight him. It's like, not necessarily to the death.
I pin him for 3 seconds and we shake hands. What's happening?
Honestly,
yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good job. Like I said, you take the sword away. I'm sure they're stronger than me.
Yeah, for sure.
How many? Quick survey. How many men think they could kill an orangutan with their
all of them? All of them, Josh. That's the answer, and they're all wrong.
Probably like at least, but in reality, probably at least 30% think they could kill an orangutan with their bare hands.
Yeah,
truly,
no shot.
Okay. Actually, they're not as big as you might think. The adult male.
40.
The adult male is roughly 4.3 feet tall and weighs about 285 pounds. So
they're dense, they're thick, but like
that's like a lot of muscle, though.
Yeah,
like
that's a lot of muscle.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, what can they bench though? How many reps? How many reps do they do?
Let me see. Yeah. The largest orangutan ever is 450 pounds. I feel like people have that. People have that.
Yeah, but that's not. Now, if we're fighting that orangutan, you have to take chicken. We're not. I might take. You know what? I might take chicken because I'm just gonna toss that chicken right out every time because it's gonna be flapping and flying. I think I'll just use that momentum against me. Grab it by the head and just eat it.
Yeah.
You never have to buy meat at the grocery store ever again.
I will say, I'm married, so I don't have to worry about this. But the conversation you have to have with your girlfriend at some point, like, hey, just so you know, every time I get into a car, a chicken appears and I have to throw it out the window. Like, everything's normal.
Car,
like, I'm a normal dude. Like, you definitely want to go out with me, but it's just a thing I do. So don't worry about it.
I'm so sorry, John. I got to check your wording. I'm gonna flip back. You say a car. This is any vehicle ever. Is this
any car you get into, not just yours.
So that's the thing. If it's my car, it doesn't matter. But now that it's any other, it's any.
That's bad.
And I'll exclude buses and trains and stuff. You clearly worded this.
No, we won't say buses and trains. No public transportation.
For once, we're not being arbitrary. But we will be capricious.
I'm just imagining the situation where I'm in the backseat of my friend's car and like the child safety locks are on the windows and I can't get the chicken out.
Oh gosh!
Like there's so.
Movie
I mean, there.
I'm back to orangutan. I'll take.
You're welcome, Josh.
I'll take sword damage. Thank you.
But Aaron, even with the dating relationship, hey, I'm a totally normal guy. But once a year, I have to fight this orangutan with a sword.
I have to murder this orangutan with a sword.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So we have 2 votes for chicken. I mean, 2 votes for orangutan.
Yes.
I think I would honestly go with orangutan too. I mean, will I probably die when I get into my like upper 60s, lower 70s because I can no longer defeat this orangutan with the sword? But yes, but at least I only have to worry about him one day a year.
Exactly.
And not perhaps like, I mean, I get into my car probably 5 separate times a day. At least, like 5 chickens.
You want to deal with that?
No. Yeah. No, I'd rather just die young.
Yep. When you're no longer worthy to live, when you can't, when you can no longer defeat the orangutan, you know it's your time. You're no longer a worthy fighter. So.
It's just like Dwight in The Office.
Yeah.
What do these symbols mean? The man or beast that kills me will know.
Oh gosh. I did see another argument, and we absolutely do not have time, and I think there's actually a clear answer, but you know the old wheels or doors debate that we clearly talked about, wheels as the answer.
Solved.
Yeah, solved. That's been solved,
wheels,
and it
easy.
happened quickly enough that people moved on to: are there more legs or eyes? So, you, the listener, can think about that while we wrap up this episode of the
definitely
Football
eyes.
podcast. I think it's
Legs.
legs,
Not even close.
It's definitely legs.
Josh, fish, Josh, come on.
Oh, frick! I forgot about fish.
Centipedes.
Fish.
Yeah, bugs. But bugs though, because bugs have
I
6
would
legs.
argue-
Anyways.
I was gonna
not
say,
a
I'm
single.
going-
Okay,
has
while I
legs.
fade these two guys back in the background, thank you for
Google-
listening
you Google how
to
many
the
fish
Fifth
there are
and
in
Goal
the world. I'm gonna go
podcast.
how
We
many bugs
appreciate
there
you
are in the
listening,
world.
and we'll see you guys next week. And future Aaron truly did edit you guys out, so you're done. We'll see you guys next week.
The answer is fish. I mean, not
The
the
answer
answer.
There's got to be more bugs than fish, though, right?
There's so
I
many.
don't know.
There's so,
We've never
it's,
even
it's
fully
like by a long
explored
shot.
the depths of the ocean.
Yeah, but they don't
we-
have
we're
eyes
pretty
because there's
certain.
no light. They literally
The
have.
further down you go, the fewer
No,
eyes
but they have them. They just don't use them.
Well, okay, but Josh is right. The lower down you get, the fewer eyes there are. Oh, geez.
I don't
care
know,
who- I
guys.
don't care
My
who
vote
you're-
is eyes. What about like spiders and crap? And like
Spiders
a bunch
at
of
max have like what 8?
Yeah,
Bugs
and they've got to
have
have
a
a
bunch
bunch
of-
of.
amount of legs they have.
bugs have a bunch of
Do
eyes
they?
too.
Bugs
No,
have
like
bugs have
flies
2 eyes that are
compound
like
eyes.
compound
They
eyes.
don't have individual eyes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, it
yeah, which
depends
is
how you're
biology.
counting them then.
Well, they have 2 eyes. Like flies have 2 eyes.
They have 2 eyes. They just happen to be made up of different lenses.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yes. But there's so many flies. There's so many ants, and they have 4 more legs than eyes. It's got to be legs. It's got to be.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Johnny. You're on the wrong
Because
side of history.
even if there's
Do we
equal,
count chair legs?
no,
Are these
no,
only
no,
living
no, no. These are
creatures?
moving creatures like organic eyes and legs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But that does open an entirely different.
But if you want
conversation.
to, we'll make
I
legs
mean,
win even easier.
Well, then
easily.
we're counting googly eyes then too. And so, but,
And that's where the
Oh,
eyes
gosh.
win once again. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
man.
All right, YouTube. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, or this morning, or wherever you're catching the replay of this. Potentially, appreciate you guys. So, if you haven't already, please consider liking the stream. It helps us out a bunch, and subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it. We'll see you guys next time.